Well, hello, my YouTube friend. Well, I guess that today the time has come to speak about art and knives. I've stated previously that my most interesting, or more, I would say, to me, actually, more interesting video to make on YouTube would be to make videos about production knives, because you're more likely to get them. So it's, more interesting for me, of course, to speak about something that is more, that you can fondle, that you can buy, that you can get. So you'd get some interest by watching these videos. And those knives, I know that for a lot of you, unfortunately, you won't get them in hands. So to me, I would consider that not in a bad way, but more as a show off. But let's take off one F to the show off and let's just show off these knives because it's a splendid work of art. And if you are just a little bit interested in knives, as all of you that follow my channel are, you have to be interested for a lot of reasons in Korth Knives. So Korth, as you probably know, is made by Rick Lala. Rick Lala is a Brazilian guy, and he's one of the, actually he's the K in the IKBS here. So basically he invented the IKBS with Flavio Icoma, which is the I of the IKBS. So it stands for Icoma Korth bearing system. So those Brazilians, they invented the IKBS, which is, now the bearing system, the most useful bearing system still exists. Of course, now there are a lot of cage bearing systems, and I think that they're more versatile and easier to master and to use for the makers. But still, the IKBS is, if not the most, one of the most useful bearing system, and probably one of the first ever made. So yeah, they entered the history with this system. Okay, so Icoma and Rick Lala. So again, Korth is Rick Lala. He used to start this business with his brother, but today it's just Rick Lala and his nephew when there is some carving, as on those two pieces, those two beautiful pieces that I have. His nephew, Rudy Lala, who signs in, just here, you can see here, there is his signature, Rudy. I'm going to talk about him, of course. He was, he started with them as, it's their nephew, Rick's nephew. And he started like cleaning the shop when he was 8, basically. And he made some drawings, and along the way, along the road, he started to make some engravings, and he started to work for them. And today he's making, to me, one of the two parts that are important in the Korth knives, because you have the mechanism, you have what makes a knife, which is in those knives absolutely excellent. The knife itself as a tool is just stupendous. When it comes to mechanism, when it comes to fit and finish, that's just fantastic. We're going to talk about that. And then after that, you have the other feature, which is the engraving, which makes this knife unique. That's it. You can have a lot of knives, but how many knives, how many a brand, how many makers would you see making some engravings like that on titanium? Because that's what it is, engraving, carving on titanium, which is the most difficult thing to do. It's really a pain, really difficult to make some engraving on the titanium. And just look at how dramatic is his engraving. That's just fantastic. I have no words to describe the quality of what Rudy does now, and which brings again the uniqueness on his knife. Because you can of course, you can say that they invented the IKBS, that you're going to see how splendid the knife is built, but this is something that makes it for me, that makes it unique. This is this engraving. So, yeah, basically today I would say that Korth is a fantastic custom maker as a knife maker, of course, and he's associated with Rudy Lala for the engraving, who starts, to do some engravings for other people. And he's going to make a lot of, I hope he will make some or more collaboration. Of course, it will take off some of the uniqueness of Korth if Rudy decides to make a lot of engravings for other makers. But anyway, it will still be, I think, kind of unique to have knives engraved by him. And this is just work of art. This is what I wanted to show you today for the jelly, for the pleasure of looking. I'm going to try to take some time, to show you how deep, how profound. And I'm lucky because I have one full engraved with this Sentry. The model that we have here is a Sentry. It's a 3.5-inch blade. Overall length is 8 and something. It's a one cliff, as you can see. That's a fantastic EDC. I mean, this knife, I carry it a lot. As I said, it's a full engraved. Most of the time, you're not so lucky, and I mean, it's not that you're not so lucky, of course, but you have some engraving here, and that's actually a kind of scale of titanium that will be, you see the pins here and here, that will be, fixed in the overall frame. And then after that, you're going to have some work of inlays, which in this case, I absolutely adore because it's flush. Sometimes it's like a controlled and like 3D, but in this case, it's very flush with the marble carbon fiber, which I prefer, of course, compared to the regular one. So yeah, on this one, I appreciate to have this work of inlay because you can appreciate the engraving with the skull here and the serpent here, and the work of inlay, which is absolutely seamless everywhere, as you can expect from a knife of that quality. And the engraving goes even inside, as you can see, inside the backspacer. Look at those eyes that are staring at you, the eyes of the reptile. My gosh, that's just splendid work. I mean, those knives, you cannot find a dot in this knife that is not well thought, where there is not a humongous work of artistry. So yeah, as I said, this one is the Sentry. So again, this is basically a knife that you can carry. It looks like, I don't know why I was going to say that. It's stupid. I was going to say that it looks like the Derek Monroe Sigil, but it's pointless to make that kind of comparison. Anyway, so that's a fantastic EDC. That's what I like with this knife, because you can see that the finish on it makes it very resistant, and I carried that knife like 100 times in my pocket, and it won't mark. I mean, you can see that you're not gonna see some scratches or whatever. That is really resistant material. So this is fantastic to have the possibility to get an art piece in your pocket and use it as an EDC, because that's just a splendid EDC. Look at the clip. It carries just like nicely, not really deep carry, but really nicely. The ergos are sublime. Look at that. Everything fits perfectly in the hand. Of course, the engraving gives you some grip, and the jimping is just perfectly done here. The guard of the flipper tab is just, everything fits in the right place for any kind of hand, I can tell you. There is even a small place here for a forward grip here. The jimping is not really the best, but of course I'm not gonna use it for hard task. Now look at the blade. The blade is just fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm trembling these days. I think that I'm developing kind of Parkinson or whatever. So yeah. Oh, you know what? Something that I have to address. For those of you who follow me from some time, you know that I hate when the blade is not sterile. Here, for some reason, they always decide to put a lot of, like the IKBS logo, like Rick Lala, like Korth. Why? I mean, and here they put the CPMS 30V, the number of, man, look at the blade. It's such a wonderful work of grinding here, of hand rubbed. It's so splendid while spoiling it with those kind of engraving. That is the only flaw in this knife, is those engraving. But look at the action now. You can expect the engagement to be absolutely perfect. The detent, I mean, the action is smooth as I like it. I hate when the blades fall like a guillotine, and that can be really dangerous. But just like that, the action is just how I like it. You know, you just push it a little bit, and boom, it's sucked inside here. Look at the engagement. Of course, it's just perfect. The flipper tab is not protrusive, just as I like it, with some jimping, so you... I was gonna say you cannot miss it, but you know what? I'm a little bit slippery with the finger, but you cannot miss it. It's just fantastic, and the design is done in a way that here it follows the choil here, and that gives you even some grip, you know, with the for the index, for not being, you know, slippery here. Just a great design, really nice edge here. CPM S30V. Those were the first people from outside of the US to use CPM S30V. Oh man, what a great knife, what a great action. So, and what is to say about this one? This one is more, you know, of a collector one. It's a humongous blade, over I would say 4.5 almost inch blade. Of course, this is not a user. This is a piece of artistry. Look at those lines. This is just poetry. The recurve and the belly that you have here is stupendous. Look at the swedge here. As I say, the work of inlay is splendid. You know what? Let's just watch that. Look at that. Silently, I don't know, I'm not used to be silent, but just look at the work of art of Rudy here, the signature here. On this one, look at that. I mean, you check, you see that there is contouring everywhere. Look at that. This is contoured. Look here inside the log bar, the milling that he did. Of course, it's all jeweled inside. Of course, as you can expect, the work of the backspacer inside. As I told you, not a dot. Look at here. Here, the contouring that you have here. What is to say about this backspacer? Contouring here also, flush work here of inlay of marble carbon fiber. Look at this, I was going to say dick clip. Sorry about that. If there are kids, take them away. This is the reptile. The name of the knife is a reptile. As you can see, the reptile is definitely here. The carving here is beautiful. Hidden hardware on the clip. Look here, the hole for the lanyard. Again, there is not a single dot here that is not simple perfection. Look at that. Here you have the external stop pin that goes all. Look, they're gonna make all the all around here. They're not gonna go far from the scale. They're gonna follow that path to go here. To look at that here. Look at that. Boom. This is just simply poetry. Look at that. Boom. Tack. The detent, the engagement, the detent is one of the strongest. You cannot fight it. Look at this small flipper tab. And the smoothness on this one is even more impressive than on the Sentry. So, of course, this is simply a pure jewel to fondle, to look. For those of you who want to carry it, of course you can. And I would say that it's, you know, the orange peel and the finish that you have here makes it also, of course, for a very resistant also finish. So I wouldn't mind carrying it, but it's just the size of it is not really versatile for an everyday use. But this is just a knife that I like to contemplate, as I like to contemplate every knife that they make. I don't know how it's possible to make knives as splendid as those. So, of course, they're going to be expensive, but they deserve every single penny that you're going to invest on those knives, because if a knife is considered to be perfect, that would be those knives. You see, those you can, you know, spend the full day and try to find any kind of flow, except the edge there, all the novels that is written on the blade. But rather, it's just a matter of decision. They just have to decide not to put the writings on the blade, and after that you will have true perfect knives, which is something that is really difficult to get, and those are definitely absolutely fantastic. And with that, my friend, I will say, and I will catch you, sorry, for another video. Bye bye, my friend. It was a pleasure.